Ladies and gentlemen, Violent Games here. Today, I'm just going to read comments because I have got no ideas for content. My channel is dead in the water right now. It fucking sucks. I want to work on a new series, but there's really nothing that's sticking out to me as a series I can work on. You know, Violent Games, I feel like the only way I'm going to gain traction is if I'm working on series that separates me from other YouTubers, and currently there's really nothing that I can do to separate myself. I mean, think about YouTube, how oversaturated it is, especially for gaming content. You really need something to separate yourself out if you're going to get noticed. So I'm just going to take today and just reply to all my comments and try to entertain the people who are currently here for me. So we're going to read the comments in the order that they were sended to me, being the most recent to the less recent. I have about like maybe 30 of them collected over the course of a couple months. And so, yeah, I'm going to reply to basically everything because these are really short comments. So first off, we have one from Kinpachix. I'm going to butcher all these names, by the way. And he just says, "You're bad." This is in my Let's Talk About Paladins on Switch video. I know I'm fucking bad, dude. You don't have to tell me. I don't play video games to impress you. I really don't. I don't know what kind of gamer you are, but if you are one of those type of gamers that are like, "I'm an MLG sweat, and I fucking live and breathe this fucking game, and oh my god, if you're bad at this game, you're an inferior human." I'm not that type of person. And to be honest, the majority of people aren't either. If you go into the streets, Kinpachix, and you tell people that you're like this sweaty Paladins player, unless you're an esports pro who is making money, no one gives a fuck. I'm sorry. No one gives a shit that you are good at video games. That's just a fact of life. No one is going to care unless you're making money or if you're a part of a pro team. Now, if you are a part of a pro team, you know, full respect. I think esports needs more coverage than it gets, but esports just overall isn't that popular with gamers because gamers, for the most part, are casual players. The majority of gamers, anyways, are casual players. God, my brain is melting. My teeth hurt so bad. Still hurting from that wisdom teeth, sir. Fucking English, man. I can't even. Next one I got was from Sunwolfie. This was on an older video. This was my somber guide. It has been ages since I've played Overwatch. And to be honest, it kind of relates to the comment that I just answered. Because Overwatch, the reason I stopped playing that game, for those of you who don't know, was because everyone I played with basically turned into a sweat. And the game became a blame game where no one would take responsibility for losses. We couldn't lose as a team, right? Like, it could not be fathomable that we just did bad or something like that. Like, there was no accountability. Everyone just blamed each other, and it was shitty, and I didn't like that interaction. I would prefer to just not even interact with voice chat at that point. And then, of course, the meta locking. Oh my god, if you didn't play the meta, God forbid you fucking picked Widowmaker, everyone would just put a fucking shotgun in the roof of their mouth and just kill themselves. It became a game for sweats, and that's why I left Overwatch. But anyway, she just says, Sombra is such a great hero. She's super underrated in my opinion. I really like Sombra. A lot of people didn't at the time that I made that video, but I honestly think it's because people didn't really play to her strengths. They kind of tried to play her like Soldier 76 or Tracer, which is really taking the character out of context. She really had this unique kit that was like good for disabling opponents and actually working with your team in that regard, and also making some pretty good picks if you can manage to aim with her SMG. I do agree with you. I think Sombra is very underrated. She's a wonderful hero, and I think that she's actually received a few buffs, if anything, since I made that video. So hopefully she's doing a little bit better in the meta. Though I heard the meta right now is just ass, at least on the PC front. I haven't really checked in on it in a while, I'll be honest, Sunwolfie. Next one comes up from Moist Gaming. Moist, yes. I find it hard getting bone charms. This is a comment that comes from my Sith build back in the Dishonored 2 build series. Yes, bone charm farming, I made a video about this actually, is just ass. I don't think it should be a mechanic in the game. I think bone charms or any amount of passives that you can get in Dishonored 2 should be implemented in a different way. Because like I said, the weakness of that system is that you could be trying to play towards a certain playstyle, whether it be open combat, lethal or non-lethal, or stealth. And it doesn't really give you the flexibility to give you passives that really work for your build. Like, you're kind of rolling the dice, and there are even some circumstances where you don't get a bone charm that is useful for your playstyle until like the end of the game. And I find this really deflating because it's going to affect your playthrough. Like, if you go through the entire playthrough of Dishonored for the first time and don't get bone charms that help you, you're going to think the game sucks a bit more. That's just the reality of the situation. You're going to feel like, wow, all these bone charms are geared towards shit that I don't like. I'm not really having fun with the bone charm system, and that's frustrating. Now, New Game Plus kind of polishes this up a bit by letting you save your bone charm progress when you learn them, and that kind of helped it out. But like, I really don't like the default, new game bone charm system. I think it's really stupid. The RNG doesn't add anything to the game overall. Next up, we have one from Sans the Great. He says, I love this build. He's talking about the Dishonored 2 Infestation build that I did. It was a Corvo lethal build, and it was just insanely overpowered and cheesy. Really fun if you're a console player who's not really one with the control freaks like I am. And, yeah, Corvo, he's a power fantasy character. If you're playing Dishonored 2, especially, and you want to play Corvo, understand that you're going for a power fantasy playthrough. Like, it really, really is just over the top. The game was designed for Emily, obviously. The game is much more balanced around Emily Caldwin, and I do enjoy playing her more for that reason. But yeah, it's fun to play Corvo every once in a while and just shit on everything, because all of his abilities are just insane. They're like one-and-done button presses. It's just insane how everything stacks up with Corvo. Next one I got is from Liar Liar, and this is also one for my Doppelganger build. Was it the Reimagined? Yes, it was. Dishonored 2 High Chaos plus Hotline Miami original soundtrack, completely dope. I'm so glad you picked this up, Liar Liar, because not a lot of people did, and it's something that just fits so well together, because Hotline Miami, if you guys don't know, is like kind of this retro style game that's all about killing and clearing rooms as fast as possible, but also having like this really easy way to die mechanic. So you die in one hit, but it's kind of like you run through the rooms like at nauseum until you find out the perfect combination to clear the room, then you move on. And it's just this real fast-paced, intense action. My gosh, I'm already slurring. My fucking teeth hurt so bad. But yeah, the Hotline Miami soundtrack is like literally one of the best soundtracks in any video game ever, just because you just want to murder shit to it really, really quick. And I thought it would be very appropriate for this build and this gameplay. So I'm glad you appreciate that, Liar Liar. Let's see. Raven Espino. I'm racist as shit. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I may... Not really. Don't take that literally, guys. I know we live in a political climate where everyone takes that out of context. Don't take that literally. He said, I made my own build called the John Wick build. I have no idea what that is going to entail. You probably should have explained yourself, because I've never seen John Wick. I've never really been interested in it. My friends said they were interested in the movie, and they went and saw it and said they didn't like it, so I just never really checked it out. I'm more into video games, in all honesty. That's kind of what I'm about, so I just didn't see it. But yeah, if you just, add a little nuance to that, I might check it out. I might see what's up, because I got a 4K monitor now. It's beautiful, and Dishonored is a 4K game. It's upscaled. And then I got one from Concept Gaming. I don't understand this one. I don't know if he fucked up this comment or whatever. But he said, you the Huntress build. You the Huntress build. I'm lost on this one. Look, I love everyone who comments. I really appreciate you guys commenting. It really does help the channel grow when you do this. But at the same time, like, I don't English that well either. So I'm not going to, like, harp on you too much, but you the Huntress build doesn't make any sense to me. Or is he saying do a Huntress build? I honestly don't know. You're gonna have to clear that one up for me. Let's see. Oh, it looks like this one actually got a reply. Let's see if I can open this with the tab. Oh no, he replied to himself. Okay, so on my Let's Talk About the Problems with Crossplay video, where I talk about the Xbox One and Switch crossplay, and I kind of say that it's kind of weak sauce, because I think the Xbox One controller is better, and I also think the specs on that system are far superior, to where they have like literally every advantage that you could think of. Yeah, that's basically the video. This is what he has to say. That's why Switch players should own the property controller lol. Now, it took me a while to figure out what he meant by this, but what he meant to say, I think, was the Pro controller. What I will say, Lechi, if I'm reading this correctly, I don't know if that's an L or an I. Look, I can't even tell. But I didn't know what this controller was until you told me. Like, I was sitting on Google trying to figure out what this comment meant. But when I saw this Pro controller, I'm like, oh shit, that is an advantage. So I might actually pick one up if it's not that expensive. I think I saw some for like 20 bucks. So I'm definitely going to look into getting one now. Thank you for posting this comment, because I had no fucking idea this controller existed. This could be a real game changer for Switch players. And maybe I'll even do a follow-up video. Thank you so much for that comment. That really informed me of something I did not know about the Nintendo Switch. I thought it was all Joy-Cons and shit. I thought the Pro controller was actually the attachment you can get for the Joy-Cons that add handles to them. So we have another one on my crossplay video, and it says, hey Violin-T, I was wondering if we could play together on Xbox One. My gamer tag is Skyman9705. Thanks, man. To be honest, I've had a lot of negative experiences with playing with subscribers in the past, and not all of them are bad for sure. It's just that I feel like there's this expectation that when I accept someone on my friends list, especially from YouTube, they kind of want to be my friend and all that, which is kind of hard to force. Like, friends organically, or people who I play with organically, are mostly people I know in real life. It's hard for me to get attached to anyone in a particular game unless I think you're fucking hilarious, or if you add something to my gameplay that is really just beneficial, like you play a certain role. But to be honest, on Switch, I don't even have voice chat. There's no pressure on me whatsoever. So honestly, if I can add you on the Switch from Xbox, I would be interested in playing that, because I don't know if I've been playing with Xbox players. I actually do not know, because everyone aims like potato ass, including yours truly. So, Skyman9705, you know what? I'll see if I can send you a message on Switch. I actually have 0 friends on my Switch right now. Look, it's my portable console, and honestly, I wouldn't mind just filling it up with people from YouTube. It wouldn't bother me at all. It's just a fucking Switch. I don't take anything on the Switch seriously, so you know what? I'll look into it. Definitely look into it, bad username. And then, Alan Clearluty. Possible Dishonored 3. Am I a developer? No. I don't know if there's going to be a Dishonored 3. I fucking hope so. But here's the problem with Dishonored, guys. If you look at any post-mortem video of Dishonored, in particular, you're going to find that the games have not been successful, including Prey, that Arcane Studios have also made. And the thing is, it's a really damn good game, and I'm really happy that there's a YouTube community that wants to talk about Dishonored, that wants to engage in Dishonored, and, you know, all the things of the like. It really makes me happy as a gamer, because I thought that, you know, the community is just so niche and it's very underrepresented, and I want to represent that game a bit more in the future, even if it is only like 30,000 views a video. Like, it's just a game that needs more respect. All of the Dishonored games are so good. Though they are lacking in some areas, I think the narrative could use a little work, and definitely some of the writing, but that's about it. I do want a Dishonored 3. It's definitely possible, because Bethesda have expanded their studios, and, you know, I could see them publishing another one. I think Bethesda as a studio has respect for those games, because they've released them multiple times, and they've also, you know, had them release Prey, so I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I really want to play a Dishonored 3. Oh, I love that game so much, guys. Plus, it would be a whole, you know, gambit of content for my channel. I almost said comments. These are comments, not content. Let's see. All right, this guy's insulting me, I'm pretty sure. Sieg Heil Maximilius. Okay, your name starts with Sieg Heil, and, like, your avatar is a douchebag with sunglasses. Like, okay, I'm not taking you seriously. You are a gold Reinhardt, and I am a master's Reinhardt. Man, I literally play better than this when I'm drunk. I believe you. I believe you, sir. I'm a fucking terrible Reinhardt. I am not even gonna fucking front. I think I even say it in the video, but it was so long ago when I made that. It's like literally out of my brain. I couldn't even defend it if I wanted to. But let's just, you know what? Let's just be in agreement with each other. I fucking suck as Reinhardt, okay? I am terrible. there's really not much else to say about it. And then Oliver actually came to my defense and said, this is a tutorial for beginners. You know what, Oliver, thank you for standing up for me. That never happens, but I appreciate it. Like, I think I made that clear in my video. Like, I never take any of my guides seriously, and I feel like that's a part of the appeal of my content. So I'm glad someone at least gets the nuance. You know, I feel like that's a huge problem with, like, SJW culture right now, is they take the nuance out of everything. Oh my god, I'm burning the fuck up for some reason. I'm talking, it's so, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. Okay. And then he said, not for masters. And then Oliver said, I see. He should talk more about the animation canceling and the shield jump and other tricks with Ryan. Dude, Oliver, you should make your own video if you're really good at Reinhardt. You seem very passionate about it. So that's what I'll say about that. And then he said, yeah, I guess so. By the way, where can I find the shield jump over advanced? Yeah, they kind of have a conversation. I can't really go through it because I think I'll be here for about a couple minutes. You can check it out if you want. That's on my Reinhardt guide if you want to read the entire conversation between these two guys. I'm really glad that they're engaging with each other. This is the type of shit that makes me feel good as a YouTuber, not the fucking monetization. I barely get paid anymore. Who the hell does on YouTube in 2018? But that's why I do it. I love it when gamers can come together and have discussions. And, you know, I really enjoy that. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see. Y4Z said that shame that there aren't any more of these prey builds. I agree. No one really gave a shit about my prey builds, and they were extremely hard to make, and that's kind of why I didn't follow up with the series. Like, it took me like 2-3 weeks to like make this build, you know, working a full-time job in that, and it was just a pain in the ass to do. Ultimately, I feel like the build came out fine, but like people just weren't into it. And I think that really speaks volumes of how underperforming Prey was as a game and how little interested people were in the actual RPG mechanics of Prey. Like, to be honest, guys, there wouldn't have been a lot of Prey builds to make, actually. By the way, I should reference the video anyways. That was my Prey Thuggish Splicer build, where I kind of just made a wrench jockey type of build where I use the wrench primarily. Basically, I made a build where you can use the wrench throughout the entire game and just beat it on the hardest difficulty, including fighting the Nightmare, which is pretty funny. So, yeah. Yeah, Prey builds, they were hard as fuck to make, and to be honest, there's not a lot of wiggle room to make a lot more nuanced builds. There might have been 3 more after that, but Prey's RPG mechanics aren't really that in-depth as far as making nuanced playstyles, especially because stealth is extremely weak in that game. Alright, I'm back. I needed to go on a hiatus just for a quick second. My teeth were hurting so bad I was about to cry, and your boy needed a coffee, so... Next comment comes from Victor Zimin. This is from the Sith build, my Dishonored 2 build series. He said, I came up with the flash build idea where you max out blink for stopping time, stop time, and agility, plus some bone charms to make you faster. I think it would be a good idea for both lethal and non-lethal playstyles. And yes, I actually did give credit to the wrong person at the end of that video. I thought it was Tony, my boy, but it wound up being Victor Zimin. Thank you for clearing that up for me. I actually wasn't completely sure. I think it's a great idea, honestly, for a Dishonored 2 build. I really do. I think it's extremely creative. Now, I'll be honest, the only reason I haven't gotten around to it was, one, because I kind of got tired of Dishonored 2. I've been playing the absolute shit out of that game, to the point where I'm almost just sick to even look at it right. Which is, you know, that's par for the course for anything you do in life. No matter how good it is, eventually you're going to get tired of it after you've done it like several times. And also, when it comes to Dishonored playstyles, my least favorite is pressing a button and then just succeeding. And I think time stop is literally the most overpowered mechanic within Dishonored. And it's very exploitable and very easy. And yeah, granted that would make it easier to make the content, but you know, if I'm not enjoying myself, it doesn't flow as well. Like, my gameplay needs to flow perfectly. I need to be in the mood so that when I make the video, your build gets the proper coverage it deserves. So I might come back and do that as like a kind of a fan servicey thing for Dishonored, but I don't know when that's going to be. I need to be into it, man. I really, really do. But if you have your own channel, and if you post up this video and it's like clean cut, I'll definitely promote it for you if you want. Because I really love the Dishonored build series. I'm glad a lot of people have like followed through and also made their own builds and stuff like that. That's always awesome. Again, Dishonored community is actually one of my favorites because everyone's just so happy that someone else was making content for that game. I really do feel like that was the community feedback that I received. People were just so overwhelmingly happy that there's someone out there making content because, let's face it, the reason people aren't covering Dishonored on YouTube is because it's not very lucrative. And I feel like that's just a shame. He also talked a bit more about bone charms, but it's not really that pertinent to respond to that one. I get what you're saying, Victor. I get what you're saying. And then we got another one for the Infestation build from R. King, just saying this is a really fun build, playing on New Game Plus as Emily. Yeah, I'm enjoying. I enjoy those builds as well. Kill Paolo with Rat Swarm. That's pretty funny. Someone also said that on the Infestation build as well. And then someone said on a build, or on one of my Shadow Walk builds to do New Game Plus builds. So that was Mythic Shade. Mythic Shade I have. I have. I don't know if you've checked my playlist. That's how I organize my channel. But I do have a ton of New Game Plus builds. So they're there. I just haven't been working on the series as much. Please do a build video for Dishonored 1 DLCs. This comes from Dakota Bell. It's not really relevant where the video came from. But Dakota, I don't know, I might. It's been a while since I've played those Dishonored games. I just didn't, or I don't think that anyone is really going to care outside of you and me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that game is really, really old. And it's impressive to see that there are still some people playing those classic Dishonored games. Some people, I actually found out, prefer the original Dishonored over Dishonored 2, which I think is ridiculous in my opinion, because I think Dishonored 2 is a bit more polished. The narrative was probably slightly better in Dishonored 1, especially Dowd's DLC. Like, I thought Dowd's DLC was top-notch, and I think Dakota actually agrees with me, because, you know, she's saying do a build for that DLC. I'm like, you know what? I might revisit that game again someday. Might do it. Let's see. We got another one for the Prey build from Kustash, and he's got a cool mustache avatar. This sounds fun. Though you would, oh my god, sorry. Though, would you be able to suitable, or what, any mods for leverage? Though, would you be able to substitute any mods for leverage? Kustash, I don't know if you knew this. This is in regards to Prey and my Thuggish Splicer build, of course. Look, I'm dropping the ball here. It's been, like, I've been doing this for, like, almost 30 minutes now. Leverage is actually useless in Prey as a utility. And the reason is because you can actually pick up trash cans and other objects in Prey's game and wiggle them into the corners of blockages. Like, for example, if a door is blocked off by a bunch of, like, big boxes that you can only move with leverage, you can actually do a leverage glitch. This is still viable. And you can wiggle a trash can in between those objects and cause them to get pushed out of the way. Leverage, I hate to say it, if you know that exploit, is useless. That's why I didn't incorporate it in the build, and that's why I really wouldn't consider using it unless there was a lethal way to use it, maybe for like a humanity build or something like that. So that's why I don't use leverage, because like literally there's an exploit that makes it useless. Now we got one on the Dishonored 2 Howler build. That's a Flesh and Steel lethal build. I don't remember who I used. I think I used Emily because I prefer her crossbow. He just says, awesome build, gonna try it. But I want to play as Corvo this time. Which crossbow master upgrade would you recommend? Honestly, what are his upgrades? I think one is like a triple shot, or like, what are they? I'm trying to think of what Corvo... You know what? Hold on. Let's Google this real quick. What are Corvo's crossbow upgrades? God, it's been so long, guys. I don't remember what Corvo's crossbow upgrades. Let's see. Let's see where the master works. Piercing, insult, long distance lever. Where's the Corvo ones? Okay, coffin nails. Let's see, reload speed. Let's see, it's far above giving Corvo semi-automatic firing bolts. Oh, it's basically increased reload speed, and the other one, perfect accuracy on 3 marked targets. Obviously, I have to say, the latter is definitely better. What's this one called? Let's see. The Dealer. So if you're going with a crossbow build for Corvo, the Dealer sounds a lot more interesting because the crossbow's reload speed is already insane. But what I will say is, what is your playstyle? Are you going to be using the crossbow in more of a medium distance combat? Or are you going to use it further away? If you are a bit more mixed, I would still opt for the latter again, because the crossbow reload speed by itself is already exceptional, like I said. And the only interesting proxy, it definitely comes from the latter, being able to automatically target 3 people. That could look really cool, like Legolas level shit. So I'm gonna say that one. I'm saying go for that one if it works properly. Now, I haven't really fully tested this because I don't like Corvo's crossbow, but let me know how that goes, because I think that's the better one. If I was to pick between those, I would definitely choose the Dealer. That sounds a lot more appealing than having a faster reload speed on a weapon that has a fast reload speed. It just makes no sense. Okay, answered that question. I had no idea. It's been a long time. Let's see. Okay, this one comes from my God of War Atreus armor guide. Now, no one really covered this series as much as I thought. I thought this series would get a lot more traction than it did. But this one comes from my God of War Atreus armor guide, where I kind of talk about like advantages and disadvantages of armor sets. And it turns out I could have been wrong about this, actually. There was a lot of people kind of responding to that negatively. But let's get into this comment. He says, "You have the best Give Me God of War difficulty guides. Man, I wish you'd do more. This difficulty level calls for totally different strategies than others. I don't think people get it." I agree 100%. The Give Me God of War difficulty has so many hidden bullshit mechanics in it that it could be really frustrating to a player who doesn't figure it out. But I actually pushed myself through that game and learned these strategies and learned how the game was intended to be played. Like, for example, if you're playing Give Me God of War difficulty, you can't do all the side content up front. You have to kind of upgrade yourself first before you can go into certain areas. Otherwise, you're going to get killed by over-leveled enemies. That's not the case on the normal difficulties. You can still power through them on the normal difficulties with some difficulty, of course, but the fact that you are on a lower difficulty setting means that it is possible. So, yeah, I really appreciate this comment comes from 99 Tetsu 1. Sorry, I didn't read his name in the first place. It really confused me. But 99 Tetsu, I agree. I think that the series was kind of underloved and underrepresented, and I'm not really sure what I could do additionally for it. I felt like the most pertinent videos I could make for God of War, in all honesty, were gear recommendations, because, like, if you built Corvo tanky on the harder difficulty setting, it made the game easier. Like, it's like taking the difficulty down a couple steps, and on top of that, Kratos's damage is already exceptional. So things like that, and then increasing Atreus's damage as well, was just, in my opinion, the best. So yeah, that's really not much else to say about that. I appreciate that you like those videos. That's why I made it. Again, if a few people get something out of my guides, I feel like it was worth posting that video. It's much more important than gaining subscribers, much more important than you know, getting money. Now, this one comes from Pizza Eating Pug. This guy has been in with my channel for a long time. I always recognize the avatar because it is what it says it is. It's a pug eating a pizza. And he says, "Let's see your face more often." He or she, I'm not sure. I'm not going to assume a gender. You know, God forbid in 2018 you assume someone's gender. The reason I don't show my face that often, I actually have a webcam, but it desyncs with my microphone. So I have to go in and micro edit. Like, I don't remember if you guys remember the Resident Evil 7 playthrough I did, but I had to micro edit to sync the audio with what I was saying. So what I would do is I would actually tap my glasses to kind of be a visual cue for myself that I tapped the Elgato to record the footage. So then I could sync them in post, because for some reason the webcam just like does not sync the audio properly. And if I find an external camera, which is what I'm wanting to do, so I don't have to rely on my shitty MacBook Pro to like, you know, use the webcam properly, I want to get like an external camera to actually record myself for that type of content, because I'm not like an ugly ass dude. I'm really not. I definitely look better than I did when I actually took my YouTube photo. It's been about a year. So I would like to do more stuff with my face. It's just that I don't have the equipment right now, and considering I need to get an Elgato 4K 60, it's gonna be a while. Like, I'm still struggling to get to that, and that's why you actually haven't seen a lot of videos from me lately, is because I can't record on my PlayStation anymore, because I upgraded to a 4K monitor, and it's complicated the shit out of everything. And he also commented and said, I enjoy playing old games like Assassin's Creed 2, and I do complain not because of summer downtime, because I don't have the money for games. So yeah, I get that, especially if you're a younger person. It is hard to buy your own games and, you know, play games constantly. And that's just kind of the harsh fact of life. You kind of need to find other hobbies outside of gaming when you're younger, especially, to kind of break up your day. Otherwise, it is going to be hard to stay into gaming as it is. You know, as an adult, you can go out and get all these games. You can download all these games. You are working a job. You're able to provide that for yourself. But especially when you're a younger person, it's much more difficult. You know, and I remember the struggle, because my parents, especially early on, thought video games were for fucking nerds, and they didn't want to buy me games. They were embarrassed that I played video games to the extent that I did, and they, you know, especially my dad. But over time, that stigma kind of like released itself, and things got a little better in that regard. But money does not grow on trees, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. So I didn't blame my parents for not buying me all the games. That's just foolish. But when I became an adult, I enjoyed gaming so much more because I was able to purchase games when I wanted them, which was really, really nice. And so we got another one from Mac, and then it's some foreign language. I'm sorry, I can't read that. I don't even know how I would pronounce some of those symbols, so... It says, wow, that's a cool format, man. He's also talking about the Let's Talk About the Summer Downtime video. That was also the same video in Pizza Eating Pug. Look, guys, I'm falling to pieces here. I'm just replying to the comments. That's a cool format. It's always a pleasure to listen to an interesting opinion about the industry. I agree. I enjoy the types of videos where you just ramble about shit. It's a lot of fun. And so we got a reply of someone, a critic. We got a critic, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare your butts. It's about my Bone Charm acquisition video and why I think it sucks. He said the game is based around exploration, so ... While that is true, it doesn't change any of the points that I said in the video. Yes, the game is based a lot around exploration and actually, you know, build... No, you know what? Fuck you. It's not. It's Lit Games TV. Let's have a discussion real quick. I disagree with you. I don't hate you. Don't take my tone out of context. But the game is not just based around exploration. This is in regards to my Why Bone Charms and Chipset Acquisition Sucks video, where I talk about both Dishonored 2 and Prey's upgrade system. The game is not just based around exploration. It's also based around upgrading a character. It's based upon building upon a playstyle. And when you have these passives again that don't allow you to play towards the role that you want to get, then yeah, I feel like that's a problem. So I hate to say it, dude. Your criticism's like, you know, shallow as a puddle of piss, because it's just not true. Dishonored is not based around exploration. You know what's based around exploration? No Man's Sky. Yeah, that was a great game when it launched, wasn't it? You know, you got to explore. And then you got to point a gun at a rock for 40 seconds. So fuck that. It's not, no. Dishonored is not a game about exploration. It's about combat. It's about stealth. It's about building upon your own playstyle. And it's about exploration on top of that. It's more than just that. It's a bit more nuanced than that. I feel like you're kind of limiting Dishonored a little bit. Let's see. That one's kind of a respond to something directly in a Let's Play. I'm not going to respond to that. And then there's some guy just thanking me for the somber guide. Again, that guide is so old. I'm glad people appreciate it, but it is dated. Like, you do not take that guide out of context, ladies and gentlemen. That game is old. Let's see. And here's one we have from my Let's Talk About E3 2018 in the console wars. So we have It's Lit Gaming again. You came back, It's Lit Gaming. Let's see. What about Dreams? You can basically make a game in hold on. You can basically make a game in Dreams. What? What are you talking about, It's Lit Gaming? Are you like on bath salts? What is happening? Let's see. Last of Us 2 is mostly human v human combat, not much of human player v zombies combat. Oh, I get what he's saying. He's saying that Last of Us 2 is going to focus more about human combat. I don't know yet. Unfortunately, Last of Us 2 didn't really explain, but regardless of what Last of Us 2 is going to be, I'm excited for it. The game looks fucking awesome. So hopefully what we saw at E3 is a good representation of the actual game and not complete scripted nonsense, because I do have a concern about Last of Us 2 as a game, and that being that the director has an agenda. It's not something that we can sugarcoat anymore. The guy is an SJW. He wants to promote women in games, and I don't think that's innately a bad thing. I think Ellie not being a 10 out of 10 babe is actually a really positive thing for women in games, because not every woman you see is hot. I'm sorry, it's not reality. That's not the reality of the situation, and I like that there's some representation for lesbians in games, but do not make that the focal point of the story. If you make that the focal point of the story, you're gonna miss the fucking point. Make it an awesome, visceral action game where we have to survive and, you know, manage our resources, and also have this compelling story, and yeah, have a, you know, that be a part of her character that she is a lesbian, but don't make that the focal point. Because, like, think about other games with male protagonists. Was Uncharted 4 about Elena and Drake fucking? No, it wasn't. Was it about the fact that Nathan Drake was a straight guy? No, it was not. So it's good to promote, you know, diversity amongst games, but do not make that the focal point of the narrative. You will lose. So that is my only concern about Last of Us 2. So It's Lit Gaming just keeps saying weird shit. I can't do it all. I'm almost done here, guys. I've been going for like 40 minutes. I'm literally about to die. So I'm gonna end on Pizza Eating Pug one more time, because you know he's my boy. He or she is my boy. I don't know what gender you are. I'm not gonna assume. I own a few Xbox exclusives like Quantum Break, although it's too long and then getting repetitive, and they're okay, but Spider-Man and The Last of Us 2 Part 2, screw the Xbox. Yes, Pizza Eating Pug. And I might do a video on this in general about why I hate the Xbox brand, because I feel like I've made enough content. Like, if you've been following me, you know I've made enough content bashing the Xbox to where it seems like I have a certain animosity towards them as a company, and I feel like I need to really explain that, because I'm not biased. If Xbox was making good games, hold on, let's give a positive critique to Xbox to prove that I'm not a fanboy. I think the Xbox Game Pass fucking rocks. I think that it gives you a great access to a library of games. It really does, and it's a really, really good service for your buck. Getting access to Microsoft Studio games that are $60 on release for basically just for $10 a month is amazing. You don't own any of that content definitively, but why would you need to if you're not a collector? So I think the Xbox Game Pass is a very consumer-friendly practice, and it really is intuitive for them to do this. So, again, I'm very critical of the Xbox brand, but let's be real. When it comes down to brass tacks why you should own any of these consoles, exclusive games is the only reason, if you have, you know, the funds to support the hobby anyways. Because if you have a ton of money, PC gaming is where it's at. You're going to get the best performance. You're going to have the best controller medium, being the mouse and keyboard. But exclusives are what set your console apart, because the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 are so similar to where you can't really justify owning both of them. But for example, why can you own a Switch in an Xbox? And why can you own a PS4 in a Switch? Because they aren't the same thing. The Switch is a mobile platform. It offers a different set of games to where you can justify having both those machines. And it has different types of third-party support. So Yeah, dude, Xbox is just really, really weak with their exclusive library. There's not much else to say about it. And to be honest, I don't know why people are still trying to defend that console. I think the Xbox One may be the worst video game console in history. I'm not even lying to you. Not from like a specs standpoint, but for the value that it offers you as a gamer. It's complete shit. And the fact that the One X doesn't even have the third-party advantage and it's that much of a stronger system is also a joke. You know what? These are all videos within themselves. So, guys, I'm going to end it here. I went way too long, but I hope I answered some of your comments. I hope that you guys continue to post. I'm going to try to keep up with this better because obviously I have a fuck ton of comments and I need to get through them. I like to, you know, make sure everyone gets a respectable amount of time from me when I do respond. So anyways, guys, this is Violent Games signing off. I'm probably going to have to loop some gameplay over this. This is going to be so fucking long. Thank you so much for watching, and post a comment. I respond to the shit, obviously. Thanks so much, guys. I'm glad you're here.